They didn't rush to save him. They didn't ask where he was. And when he disappeared, no emergency meeting was called. Patrice Lumumba was Prime Minister of the Congo for just 10 weeks. 10 weeks was enough to scare Belgium, enough to alarm Washington, enough to make local generals uncomfortable. Because Lumumba said something unforgivable. He said the Congo would control its own minerals. Uranium, copper, diamonds. The same uranium that powered American bombs. That speech didn't echo in Congo alone. It landed in Brussels. It landed in the CIA. And suddenly, Lumumba was no longer a leader. He was a problem. The first move was paper. Belgium supported secession in Katanga, the richest region. Congolese unity collapsed on a map before it collapsed on the ground. Then came uniforms. Colonel Joseph Mobutu, once Lumumba's ally, staged a neutral coup. Neutral meant Lumumba was removed, but not replaced. Neutral meant power paused long enough to decide his fate. Lumumba was placed under house arrest. The United Nations watched. The United States approved containment. Belgium offered advice. No one pulled the trigger yet. They didn't need to. Lumumba tried to escape. He was captured, beaten, humiliated, filmed. The footage was meant to travel, a warning to others who spoke too loudly. Then a decision was made quietly. Lumumba would be transferred to Katanga. Everyone involved understood what that meant. Belgian officers were present. Katangan authorities were ready. Western governments were informed, not surprised. On January 17, 1961, Patrice Lumumba was executed by firing squad. His body was dissolved in acid. His teeth were kept as souvenirs. There would be no grave, no place to gather, no symbol left behind. The consequences were immediate. The Congo did not stabilize. It fractured. Mobutu took power fully. He ruled for 32 years. Western governments called him reliable. Mining contracts returned to familiar hands. Uranium shipments continued. The Cold War moved on. The United Nations expressed regret. Belgium issued delayed apologies decades later. The United States released documents long after it mattered. No one went to prison. What happened next was not confusion. It was order. With Lumumba gone, the noise stopped. Meetings became shorter. Decisions became easier. Mobutu didn't take power immediately. He waited. He watched who relaxed, who stayed silent, who kept funding him. Then he moved. By 1965, Joseph Mobutu ruled the Congo completely. Elections were cancelled. Opposition vanished. The country was renamed Zaire, a cosmetic change for foreign audiences. Western governments adjusted quickly. Mobutu was corrupt, but predictable. He didn't talk about ownership. He talked about partnership. Mining companies returned under new contracts. Copper flowed. Diamonds flowed. Uranium kept moving quietly through supply chains. Cold War logic replaced Congolese lives. As long as Mobutu wasn't communist, his prisons were overlooked. His executions ignored. His stolen billions tolerated. Aid money arrived. It didn't build roads. It didn't build schools. It built loyalty. Inside the Congo, the fracture widened. Regions were played against each other. Ethnic divisions were encouraged. Opposition leaders disappeared one by one. Entire towns learned what silence cost. Journalists learned what questions cost. Families learned how to wait. Mobutu ruled for 32 years. When he finally fell, the state collapsed with him. Wars followed. Not one, several. Militias replaced institutions. Foreign armies crossed borders. Minerals funded violence instead of development. Millions died in conflicts that traced back to a moment when one man was removed instead of negotiated with. And Lumumba, for decades, he was officially missing. Belgium kept fragments of his remains. One of his teeth sat in a drawer. His family asked for answers. They received silence. In 2002, Belgium admitted moral responsibility. Not legal, not criminal, just moral. In 2022, the tooth was returned. A single fragment. 61 years later, no trials followed. No sentences were passed. No systems changed. What happened next wasn't an accident. It was a template. A leader speaks too clearly. Economic interests feel threatened. Allies look away. Paper moves first. Uniforms follow. History records a transition. And somewhere down the line, people ask why a country never stabilized. The answer is buried. Not in chaos, but in a death that worked exactly as intended.